Peace, love, knowledge, and freedom, and welcome to another exciting episode of the Just Seen podcast. Today, I'm going to be talking about a topic that I've been sitting on for a minute. Um, it's been a while. Somebody asked me this question. They were like, "What do you do after you heal?" You feel me? And then, so I was like, I thought about it, because you got to recover and shit, and you got to do all of the other things that are necessary in the healing process. But then it kind of got me to breaking down and thinking about the overcoming pain has 3 phases to it. You feel me? You're hurt, then you're healed, then you recover. And I think the recovery part is often overlooked in many regards, but it has its precedence. And it has its need, and it needs to be addressed a little bit better. So I kind of wanted to come back, after my little break. I'll be taking my hiatuses on y'all asses, bro. I don't be playing, but yeah, I just needed to come back, and it kind of goes hand in hand. And plus, if you into the stars and shit, we had retrograde, so communications would have been fucked up. So I ain't really want to get into that because I know how some people can get when they hear certain things that I say, and they respond a certain way. But we back. So with overcoming pain, right? With dealing with your pain, you're gonna go, like I said, you're gonna have the 3 spaces that you're gonna be in. You're gonna be hurt, you're gonna be healed, and then you're gonna have to recover. A lot of us, we get caught up in the space of only not being hurt. You dig what I'm saying? We get caught up in the space of just not being hurt. And that, well, I ain't gonna say not being hurt, but when we stop hurting, we equate stop hurting to healed. Therefore, by, I guess, default, we assume that being healed is the same thing as recovering. And just from my own personal perspective, from my own process, from the things that I've done within myself, I had to realize that through certain pains, through certain traumas and shit that I had to get through, that it was just the point of I only stopped hurting. I never truly healed. I never put in the work to actually recover from that shit. And, relationships was what taught me that shit the most. But then I started to apply it on a grander scale of life. Like when pain happens, first thing, you get hurt. Then it's like, what do you do after the hurt? What do you do after the hurt? And then what do you do after the healing? Like, that's one thing that I keep seeing popping up and shit when we're looking at this new age shit. I'm gonna call it new age shit because that's what everybody else calling it, like the new age shit. We be like, do the healing. How come nobody's telling you what to do when you've healed? Because see, we keep getting stuck in the loop of dealing with trauma and dealing with pain. I get it. You got to get through it. You got to heal. But everybody keeps saying the same shit over and over again. Do the work to heal. Okay, who do you talk to, or where do you go next once you've healed? That's one of the touchy subjects because nobody wants to address that. Everybody I keep talking to keeps saying shit like, yo, you're going to always be healing. Healing is a continual process. That's a motherfucking problem if you ask me. There's a motherfucking problem. If I have to continue to heal myself for the same shit over and over again, then something's off. Because now I need to be in a recovery phase. Now I need to be in a phase where I could take this shit to the next level. You dig what I'm saying? So I always ask, does the ing ever become the ed when it comes to healing? You feel me? In this age, no. A lot of motherfuckers is still healing. I'm like, yo, you can't still, unless you picking at the scab to make it bleed. You like the healing process. There needs to be a point where you go from healing to healed. You feel what I'm saying? And I'm going to discuss all of that, in a little bit as we dive into it. But first, be sure to follow me on Instagram at _just_seen_. Also, I'm on Clubhouse now. So if you got an iPhone and shit, pull up on me. My name over there, I don't know how names work and shit yet. So my name over there is Racine McGee, or it's going to be at Chatting with Scene. But yeah, pull up if you got the iPhone and shit. You feel me? Because I ain't gonna get it. I ain't fucking up the podcast. Yeah, so follow me on Instagram _just_seen_. Check out my website at iamjustseen.com to get all things that are just seen. To all those who tip, sponsor, and donate to the podcast, you are greatly appreciated. To all those who would like, to tip, donate, and sponsor, you can do so by clicking the description of the podcast, not the episode itself, but the podcast. Cash App and PayPal is fine. Everything is every donation, sponsorship, and tip is greatly appreciated. That's that for this, and that's this for that. So we're going to take a quick break, and when we dive back into it, we're going to be discussing. I ain't worked out a title yet for this. Okay, when we come back, we're going to dive into trauma, hurt, healed, recovered. All right, I ain't going to do it. We're going to dive into trauma, hurt, healed, and recovered. Oh yeah, and don't forget to visit IamJustSeen.com. There, you can get all things Just Seen. You want to add the Sofrel series to your library? Visit IamJustSeen.com. You want to learn how to master the market for series trading and investing? Visit IamJustSeen.com. You want to get your hands on some exclusive merch like tees, hoodies, coffee mugs, hats, bags? Visit IamJustSeen.com. Are you thinking about transitioning into the plant-based lifestyle? Visit IamJustSeen.com. You ever want to just chat with Seen about anything from simple advice to mentorship? Visit IamJustSeen.com. Anything and everything that is me, you can find at IamJustSeen.com. So just take a quick peek into my world and see why being just seen is nothing less but always more. Because you never really know what you need until you see it. You will never see it unless you visit IamJustSeen.com. All right. Welcome back. And without further ado, we're going to dive straight into this topic today. Yeah, as I said, when we talk about trauma and we talk about healing and shit, emotional trauma, mental traumas, physical traumas, or whatever, and our focus is on healing and shit, we don't understand typically that we have 3 phases that we got to go through. And I don't think it's that we don't understand. We just never learn the shit. You feel me? Like, they ain't got a course in this shit in school. Like, how to heal your heart, how to fix your problems and shit, and 101. Nobody does that shit. Like, there's no template, there's no rubric, because it's case by case. Because we're all individual people, so we respond to trauma differently. We respond to problems differently. We respond to pain differently. And it's in these responses to pain and responding to these things differently that we realize, okay, I have something that I have to do. I have to go down a different route. Everybody's route of healing ain't the same shit. You feel me? Therefore, everybody's route of recovery can't be the same. The same thing could hurt somebody, but how they were hurt, to what extent they were hurt, is totally different. So much so, like, if you look at a relationship, the same motherfucker could do the same, like 2 different motherfuckers could do the same shit to you, but only one will bother you. Why? You feel me? Because the connection is different. You know what I mean? So I feel like when we're dealing with trauma and we're dealing with pains and shit, they're all case by case basis. But regardless of it being a case by case basis, we still have to see that, we hurt, we supposed to heal, and then we recover. But we get caught up in this phase, in this space between hurting and healing, right? That's the space we get caught up in, because me personally, I feel like it's a small illusion, because a lot of us, and this is something I had to get over myself. A lot of us, we hold on to the fact that we think because we stop hurting that we have healed. And that's what fucks us up. That's what keeps us in a certain space. Like, because we no longer feel the pain, we think healing has happened. But that isn't the case. We just stop hurting, And I liken it to when I was a kid. I used to fall off a bike and shit a lot. Like, I had to learn, but I was like very adventurous. So I used to like jump hills and try to do tricks on trick bikes and shit with pegs and shit. I'm glad I never broke nothing, bro. But anywho, I would fall or something, scratch my shit up real bad, and then the shit'll stop hurting. Like, when you fall enough, the shit, it don't hurt as long. You know what I mean? And it'll be times like I'll be bleeding, you know what I'm saying? Shit'll be really fucked up. and it'll stop hurting. But I can visibly see that it hasn't healed. You feel me? I can visibly see that it hasn't healed. And this is an interesting concept. And when you're looking at it from a, say, emotional perspective or a mental perspective, and, we have to get over that pain and that hurt, and we go into dealing with that process. You can go through something so many times that it just doesn't hurt you anymore, but it doesn't mean that you've ever healed from it. And when something stops hurting, but it hasn't healed, it's likely infected. Damn, that's a bar, bro. But anywho, so it's likely infected. We got to put that into perspective. Imagine this. We know that if, we get a physical pain, let's say you break your leg, you splint it back, right? And it starts to heal, but you never went to get it like disinfected and all of that other good shit that goes through the process of healing. You just hold it and you deal with it till it stops hurting, right? Then it becomes infected, right? We can see that on the physical aspect. What happens on an emotional aspect? What happens on a mental aspect, a spiritual aspect? When the trauma, it hurts us, then it stops hurting and it gets infected. You feel me? What festers out of that? What comes out of that? You know what I'm saying? That's something we don't really look at. We just feel, oh, I stopped hurting. Back to the bike shit. Like after the hurting stopped, like I said, if you fall enough, if you get hurt by the same thing enough, it doesn't hurt you as much or hurt you as deeply. You're used to it, but it doesn't mean that you healed from it. It just means you stopped hurting or you got used to the hurting. You dig what I'm saying? So that illusion, that small window where we get caught up in is really scary. It's really scary. And I'm going to say it's scary because imagine, right? Imagine going through the motions of, okay, I'm good. And then no longer being able to do certain things. And another thing, this is side tangent or whatever the case may be, because I was speaking to somebody who, healing and being healed and stop hurting is are different things. But a lot of times when you stop hurting, people think because I stopped hurting, I go back. This is going to show a very different delineation. So when you stop hurting, you're likely to go back and experience the shit again because you feel like, oh, I don't hurt. I can keep going through that. When you've healed, that's when you set boundaries, say that shit's not hurting me again. I'm not going to be in denial to myself and say, because it doesn't hurt anymore, I could take the pain rather than fuck that. That shit fucked me up and it hurt real bad. I'm not taking that pain again. And that was brought to my attention when I was conversing with a sister one day, and she kept telling me I'm hurt and I need to heal. And the disconnect in our communication and our expression wasn't in that she was right or that I was wrong, but it's in we were speaking from two different levels as people. She was speaking from somebody who has stopped hurting. So when you stop hurting, you can go into a similar situation again. I was speaking as somebody who was healed, so I have a boundary now, and I'm not getting caught up in that shit anymore. So she was adamant about, oh, you need to heal. You need to heal. Whoever hurt you. No, somebody did hurt me a long time ago, and that was okay. But in the healing process, now a boundary is formed. That boundary means I'm not stepping across that line regardless, and I'm not allowing that line to be crossed. But when you just stop hurting, you're like, okay, that means the pain has stopped. Now I can allow myself to be hurt again. Now I can there's no option. There's no option. And that's what and this is why I'm looking at it like this, because when we look at relationships, everybody motherfuckers be on some delusional shit. I'm a hopeless romantic. I don't care. I'm not going to love the same way I loved the first time I got fucked over. That's stupid. I'm not going to allow somebody to be in that space again. That's stupid. That's just me stop hurting. And again, that was something I had to learn in my healing phase after I got heartbroken and shit. Because I stopped hurting, I was still running around just frolicking and fucking random women and doing all this other crazy shit, thinking that, oh, yo, I'm good. I ain't hurt. I am hurt. Because every woman, low key, every woman that I was, low key, high key too. Every woman that I was trying to to try to reconnect with the second time after my heartbreak, there was a piece of her in them. So did I really heal? No, I just stopped hurting. And that's how rebounds be working. But like that was the thing. I was on my rebound shit. But you feel me? When you stop hurting, all you're doing is, okay, I still want to find that person, but somebody who can be that person, but not hurt me. You feel what I'm saying? This is why when rebounds come in, I've noticed it a lot with people who be like, yo, see, that's that they had these conversations. See, man, it's that bullshit that I be talking about. Yo, all these motherfuckers are the same. No, your attraction is the same. And because you stopped hurting from the last person and you didn't heal from the last person, you went back to another person who reminded you of the last person. They had small tweaks that was a little bit different that made you say, okay, you're not them. But the principle and the core was the same. Why? Because you just stopped hurting. So you're ready to go back into that pain. When you've healed, you're like, fuck that. Not only did I stop hurting, I've healed, and I'm not going back through that pain. Now there's a boundary set up. I'm not fucking with that shit at all. You feel me? That shit was brought to my attention because I had a homegirl who would be saying, she was like, she don't understand why she can't get it right. I was like, well, what's your type? She said, I love a hood dude. I said, okay, so your relationships don't work with hood dude? She said, but sometimes they be different. I said, so hood dude A, hood dude B, and hood dude C is what you're saying. They're still hood dudes, and you don't fuck with hood dudes, and you wonder why you keep going through this shit. That's your fault. I was about to say that's your dumbass fault, but I ain't going. You know what I'm saying? My mama never told me not to call people stupid, not to call people dumb. But I really wasn't calling her dumb, and that would just been her fault being dumb. That was your dumbass fault. Like, I guess. Anyway, I digress. So in the full gamut of all of this shit, we got to look at the hurting, the healing, and then the recovery, right? Are we stuck in the hurting and then the stop hurting process part? Because trauma, like I said, it has to go threefold. It has to go through all of these points. You know what I mean? The trauma happens, you're going to be hurting. You know, you got to get yourself to stop hurting first. You know, a lot of us, I think too, just the way the world is structured and, you know, how society's played out, the reason why we can't get through the healing, to the healed part, to the recovery is because we're not allowed time for that shit. We're not allowed time for that shit. It's like, yo, suck it up, keep moving. You know what I mean? So we wear a mask of healing, the mask of recovery that decorates and paints the hurting that we feel on the inside. You feel me? And for a lot of us, it's just if I could just stop hurting, I can keep pushing. Like, and then we practiced and we learned for so many times how to stop hurting that we never learned how to heal. And this is what I be talking about with a lot of the quote unquote spiritual gurus and the spiritual motherfuckers that are out there right now. Do the work, go do your shadow work, go do your inner healing, do the work. How? I get sick of hearing that shit. Like, you can't tell somebody to solve a problem that they don't know how to solve. You feel me? Without providing a solution. It's that simple. They be like, yo, you got to go in. And do the fuck what? Like, what the fuck is going in? Do I go hard? Like, what the fuck do I do? You got to go into self and all of this shit. Okay, how? What's the process? See, you got to be careful when you're trying to quote unquote encourage people to do certain shit if you don't know how to get them to that point. Because now it's like their programming is, as long as I stop hurting, I'm healed. You're not. You're not. You feel me? This is one of the biggest pieces that I take into relationships and I take away from them. What's your healing process? What's your recovery process? I get it. We grown. Everybody should at this point know how to stop hurting. You feel me? Because a lot of us are numb as fuck. Like, you feel what I'm saying? So we know how to stop hurting, but how many of us know how to heal? Are you comfortable unpacking that? Do you shut down when it happens? I know motherfuckers is like, as soon as you start talking about some traumatic shit, they want to change the subject. Cool, I get it. It's touchy for you. That's because you stopped hurting, but you never healed. You feel me? You got to get to that point of recovery. You got to get to that point of recovery. And it's a doozy. It's a process. Like, so doing this work, this shadow work, all of this shit, like, motherfuckers don't understand the depths of what it really takes to go into and handle shadow work. Because motherfuckers we want to mystify everything. And it's in mystifying everything that we think this shit is peaches and cream, daffodils and roses. It's fucking not. Like, this shit is work. You got to put in some motherfucking work to heal this shit. But it's like you got to get it. It's almost like a wound. As soon as the wound opens, the first thing you have to do is what? Apply pressure so it can stop bleeding. You got to stop the bleeding. You're not even worried about the pain at that point. You're not even worried about it hurting. You're trying to stop the bleeding. You feel what I'm saying? It's like, yo, you're not even asking yourself, am I hurt? Hell yeah, I'm fucking hurt, but I'm not even thinking about the pain. I'm trying to stop the bleeding. I'm trying to stop the immediate reaction. You feel what I'm saying? And a lot of times we don't feel the pain until after the bleeding stops. This is off of a physical aspect. You don't, the pain doesn't set in until you stop seeing the blood because your shit is freaking out. You're like, I'm fucking bleeding. What the hell? Like, you know what I'm saying? So you're not even registering the pain, the physical pain, because you're still trying to process that you're bleeding. You feel me? So you get the bleeding under control. Now you feel the tenderness. Now you feel the soreness and shit. And we think a lot of times just because a wound is closed the fuck up, that is healed. Nah, the bitch just stopped hurting. You got it doctored up. You got it bandaged. Now you got to go to the next process. Now you got to go through the next phase. You got to heal. You dig what I'm saying? You got to heal. But you can't get stuck in a state where you're continually healing. Like it's not forever. I can't agree with that shit. I just can't. You know, I keep hearing a lot of times it's like, yo, you're going to be healing forever. That means I'm in a state of trauma. I'm in pain all my life. I don't want to be healing forever. That's bullshit to me. There should become a point where whatever the fuck hurt me, I have healed from it. I am not continually healing. This shit doesn't keep getting me. You feel me? And that's where recovery comes in. I mean, I'm going to stick in the vein though. Stay on healing right now, but ultimately it's going to lead to recovery. You dig what I'm saying? Look at AA, right? Look at AA. When people like you have to recover, like that you go into rehab so you can detox and get all of that shit out of your body. And you have to recover. You feel me? You have to recover. Yeah, they've healed they healed while they were in the detox or in the intervention or whatever the fuck it is, the rehabilitation center. They healed there. But how come the next step is recovery? Can you go back out and be able to do certain things? You feel me? You can be healed all day long and relapse because there's a disconnect in the recovery. There's a disconnect in the recovery, a major disconnect in the recovery. And like I said, it's a process often not talked about. It's a process not often talked about. Like I get it. I want to be one of those people who can, you know, do the work and tell like, but we gotta have it's levels to the shit. We gotta tell motherfuckers what's real. You know, we're walking around dealing with a lot of people who don't hurt no more. You feel me? Who don't hurt no more. And we like, oh yeah, you heal. No, you just don't hurt from what the fuck that motherfucker did to you. And you'll know that they're still hurt. You'll know that they're not hurt, but you'll know that they're not healed also. You know that they don't hurt anymore, but you also know that they're not healed because of the way they respond to every little fucking thing. You feel me? I have relationships where women would say shit like they're over their ex, they're done with the ex. No, you don't hurt. You don't hurt from what the fuck he did to you. And some of the shit, it just be bullshit. I ain't even gonna hold you, bro. Most humans, they get out of relationships, it's always the other person. And then when like you sit with them and you talk, you be like, yo, you did some fucked up shit too. Like you can't just put that all on them. But you know, everybody wants to be the good person and shit. Like, you feel me? I don't mind telling my bad sides about relationships too, because it's like, all right, yo, this is what came out of both of us. You feel me? We catalyzed this shit out of each other. I'm not just gonna say she did wrong or everything, whatever the case may be. It's like we were together. So the fuck, you feel me? But it's like you'll hear people say, "Oh, I'm over my ex. I'm done with that person." No, you just stopped hurting because it be subtle shit that ain't got shit to do with shit that'll make them think about it'll trigger for their ex. I'm like, I don't know this motherfucker, and it's like I said, this comes back into rebounding because what rebounding is, and I'm glad we're talking about that in this topic. What rebounding is when you find what your ex, I guess your ex or the person that you was fucking with, you find them in the next person without the pain. You find the aspects of that person. So now you're like, and you try to transfer their energy over. This is why I be telling women that come into my look. Do you got an ex or something that you're dealing with or whatever the case may be, whatever? No, all right, how long you been single? It blows my mind when it's on some shit. Well, I've been single for 3 months, but I'm out. No, you're not. You're not. How long we all together? 2 years, 3 years? No. I'm not stupid. You not playing like I've been too far into this game and I've done too much inner work to get caught up on some shit like that. I know what the game is. I know the reality is that you are really just trying to rebound, is that you're trying to transfer onto me your feelings for that person, your love and that your care for that person based off the fact that you seen something in me that reminded you of that person, but you know that I'm not that person. So you're thinking that you're going to get just the positive sides of what that person couldn't give you. You feel me? What that person couldn't give you. I be paying attention to the shit. And it's always like, they'll be telling me about how the ex do a lot of some of the same shit that I do. And I'll be like, okay, here it comes. I'll be like, all right, so you still, no, I'm over him. But then it'll be little subtle shit that I could do. Like, that triggered me. Why the fuck did it trigger you? Because I remember when my ex, so you just stopped hurting and now you're rebounding. You haven't healed. Oh no, I've healed. I've been no. So it's a Freudian slip. You didn't even know you did it. Now you're trying to consciously correct what you just did. You're trying to consciously correct unconscious behavior that just shows itself. Unconscious behavior is there for a reason. That's the revealing aspect of what the fuck you going on. You can't hide that shit. You dig what I'm saying? So when I look at the dynamics of what they're telling me, that, like exes and all of the other shit that they're doing, it's like, yo, that's the rebound phase. Rebound phase is that rebound phase. I'm gonna define it as this. It's that process in which you don't want to transition from not hurting to healing. You don't want to start the healing. You just want to remain not hurting. So that's what the rebound phase is about. Every one of your relationships is about me being in these things without hurting. This is why cycles repeat, and you go through the same shit. And you ask yourself why I can't get it right. Because if you actually stopped hurting and you went through the healing process and you healed, you would now create boundaries. You would create standards. And when you get to the recovery rate, your type and your attraction changes. On some real shit, let's keep it a hundo right now. If you have been heartbroken, if you have been damaged, played, embarrassed, whatever the case may be, and you still seeking people that are embodiments of the very motherfucker that hurt you, you could not have healed. You just stopped hurting. You have a type, and your type keeps, like, it's always funny to me. It's not funny, but like ha ha ha. But it's always humorous when women and men. Women say they tired of dealing with fuck boys, and dudes say they tired of fucking with dumb bitches, just for the sake of conversation. They do that, and then you'll see that they're still attracted to that. That's their type. You feel me? Shit makes no sense. And my brothers do the shit all the fucking time. I just be looking at them like they're crazy because I think you are. You feel me? You be wanting, it's like y'all be wanting. Y'all would tell a woman that her man ain't you, creeper and shit, and then get mad if you take her. If you take her, you feel me? And then you gotta now watch her because you don't trust her. The fuck did you do that for? You feel what I'm saying? Because you attracted to that type. That's your type. You feel me? Women too is thing is, you want your type not to hurt you anymore. You don't want to change it. That's both of us, men and women. We just want our types not to hurt us anymore. That's it. We don't want to heal from the shit. We just like, yo, stop hurting me, my type. I'm not changing my type. Your type ain't good for you. You ever thought of that? Think about it. How was your type created anyway? Did you really choose your type, or were you conditioned into your type? You feel me? I tell this story because it's funny. Like when that song Problems came out, I mention this frequently in the podcast series. Yeah, I don't know why, but because I love bad bitches. I used to love bad bitches. Most of the women that I was with was bad bitches. I was conditioned into fucking with bad bitches. Guess what? I was never attracted to bad bitches. They were just my type. Types and attractions, two totally different things. Types, my type was a bad bitch. And then it's like I get them and I'm like, yo, your attitude is trash. You just ain't got shit to talk about. You always nagging, you always upset, you always doing, and it's those that's the qualities of a bad bitch. Like no funny shit. Like they're messy, they petty. You feel me? A lot of people look at it from the surface. Oh, my bitch is bad and all of this shit from the physical aspect, the dimensions, 34, 24, 36, whatever the dimensions are and shit, there's that ain't even the standard dimension no more. Like motherfucker just go to the knife for those dimensions. But you feel me? When we look at what a chick that's bad, we got to deal with, just the dimensions and shit. Yo, she bad. Like that was my type. And then it's like you get them, and then you like, yo, all you are is bad. Like the fuck, like there's no substance into what you're talking about. And then now we look at it like this. There's people that the women assimilate to that shit. You feel me? Same shit off the other side. As men, we strive to be real niggas. You feel me? So women be attracted to, real niggas and shit. And then it's like when that happens, it's like, what is the substance on the inside? Like, cause that's what really defines the motherfucker. Like, not the external shit, but that's the type of shit a lot of us was on growing up. So like, that's the type of shit that has molded our type. Our type has been molded based off of, superficial shit. You dig what I'm saying? Superficial shit. And it's like, if the superficiality isn't there, then what are we gonna do? We feel like, oh nah, I can't get with them. I can't get with her. Cause they ain't got this, that, and the third. You dig what I'm saying? It's like, I joke, I troll when I play on social media a lot. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, case in point, I use an example. I was dealing with this woman one time who tried to tell me what my type was. She said, I know what kind of women you like. I was like, what? And she physically described, because, this was a long time ago. It had to be about like 4 years, 3 years, some shit like that. Lurk social media and like, yo. So like she would lurk my shit and be like, she literally like did some espionage and found, so she was like, I know you like her. I know you, all right, whatever, bro. I ain't got shit to do with that shit. I wasn't. And it's still like nothing still ever came out or whatever the case may be, because I wasn't doing nothing with this person, whatever the case may be. Ended up blocking people, ended up cutting people off. And I'm not even talking to that person no more anyway. But it was that person's own perspective, right? So that person would like tell me, oh, I know what your type is. I'm like, what? Because by now I had started fine-tuning my shit. She said, your type is this, and she described the physical aspect. I was like, why you say that? And she would point it out, certain women on my social media that like my stuff the most, who stuff I like to communicate with. And I was like, that's not, those women are cool and they dope, but that's not my type. And that's not why I even communicate with them. Just they mind. They just so happen to be like that. You feel what I'm saying? Because do you pay attention to the other women, the little booties that I, talk to that do the same shit, that's in that same vein? You feel me? And she didn't pay attention to those because she was basing it off the aesthetic appeal, based off the aesthetic appeal of how types play out. It's like, okay, dudes like these types, so I know physically don't like, no, I don't, shit. If you can make me think and make me feel good, you know what I'm saying? If you can spark my thoughts better than anything else, then I could fuck with you. You're my attraction and my type. It ain't necessarily about your booty. My number one requirement is that, you got genetics of dominance like me. If she can't use my comb, I can't bring her home. You dig what I'm saying? But that's a part of that person's perspective of seeing that was because in attempting to deal with me, they had to stop hurting from the last situation they were in. They had not healed. So much so that when you just stop hurting and you haven't healed, you don't even try to find a new person. Sometimes you try to just transfer energies over and you find a similar person to who you are, but then you have the opposite side where you just go from the extreme. This motherfucker ain't nothing like you've ever experienced before. So you don't even know how to deal with it. And you just trying to hop in this motherfucker because it's like, it's totally different. This ain't nothing like any, and you haven't even prepared yourself for this next phase. And that's what comes within the healing. That's what comes within the recovery. So you get there and you're like, oh, like I hear this all the time from men and women. I wasn't ready for that person. Why? Damn, that person could have been, that's my one that got away. That's this, that, and the third. Because you were motherfucking, you stopped hurting, but you didn't fucking heal. And if you didn't heal, you damn sure didn't recover. You feel what I'm saying? I never forget when the one that got away from me. Well, I got two that got away from me, but they didn't really get away because now I realize that I'm not even in the space to be. Like I'm no longer in the space to even. They would have got away anyway. But anyway, so I'm talking. I want like this was right after a heartbreak. Now, granted, I had started smashing and thrashing and haberdashing, and I had stopped hurting, but I really wanted this woman. Like I really, really wanted this woman. But I realized in hindsight now I could tell I didn't really want her. I just want what she. I just wanted the things, like I said, it was a rebound. I was trying to rebound, but didn't rebound, but just wanted to transfer the things that I was supposed to feel in that relationship that I was in. Because now I feel like you can give me what I didn't get out of that relationship because y'all are similar in this particular way and whatever the case may be. But it was in that I could not get past the bullshit. Like, you feel what I'm saying? That's why I couldn't get past the expectation of, yo, she might do me dirty or she might do X, Y, and Z, or whatever the case may be. And she was the one that got away. I couldn't get with her because I was not healed. I had just stopped hurting. Therefore, I didn't even know how to fully engage and stay in the right mental space to be with somebody like that. You feel me? She was good. You know what I'm saying? She was good. And it'd be like, I remember one time we were just randomly talking and shit. Good ass time. I think we went to the bowling alley and shit. And this one, like hindsight, this is when I started to pay attention to shit like this. But in the moment, I didn't know shit about this. I'm like 21, 22. So we go to the bowling alley and shit. We go eat, we chill, we had a good ass time. And as I'm dropping her back off and shit, I don't know how the conversation flowed this way, but we was vibing and then my ex just came up and I just started talking about my ex and how I got hurt and all that shit. Like I literally started venting the shit. I was like, damn, bro. And I don't even know why I did it. It just kind of flowed in the conversation. But now I know why I did it. I had stopped hurting, but I never healed. So because I never healed, that shit came out. It was still there. Like the motherfucker damaged me. Motherfucker did me dirty. Like, you feel what I'm saying? But it's like I never took the time to actually heal. I just made sure I had stopped hurting enough so I could try to date again, to take my mind off of it, so I can be involved again. That's what a lot of motherfuckers do. They stop hurting enough just to go and get involved with another motherfucker to distract them. You feel what I'm saying? Men and women, we both do it. And like I said, when you couple in the fact that we get fucked over and we get hurt by our types, not our attractions, we get hurt by our types. Ain't that some shit? You create a whole fucking type and that's what hurts you because that's not your type. That's not your type. You're not even built for that shit. You're not even built for what you think you want because you have not done the things necessary to get to that point. You ain't do the healing. You just stopped hurting. And now you want another motherfucker to you. This is the issue right here. We don't heal. We stop hurting. And we want to deal with a motherfucker who can make sure they know our pain and never do anything to hurt us. Sounds good ideally on paper. Your pain, your ability to hurt ain't got shit to do with another motherfucker. They can spark any pain in you from any different dynamic. You feel me? The inability to be hurt by that shit again is not dependent upon the person you're looking for. It's dependent upon you and your motherfucking boundaries. You feel me? Are you really healed? Are you really doing the work? Or do you just stop fucking hurting? Because we damn sure don't even recover. Because when we recover from this shit, you feel me? One, we can get back in the game. Not only can we get back in the game, we get back in the game differently. And then sometimes we get back into a whole different game. It's like, I wasn't supposed to be playing with y'all motherfuckers. You feel me? It took me actually getting to my recovery phase that I said, bad bitches really are my problem. they were never good for me. Like when I actually ran down the gamut, like I got them, I bagged them, and the most that I can get out of them was some sex for a little bit. And then it was like, I could not go anywhere farther. It was stagnating me as a person. I know for a fact that I like my attraction to women was to women who can make me grow, who can make me think, make me, that can take my mind to a different space. You dig what I'm saying? That's always been my attraction, even as a kid. But I developed the type because, this is what the homies fucking with. This is what everybody's telling me to get. This is what I'm seeing constantly day in and day out on the motherfucking live music and all of that shit every fucking day. Every fucking day. That's all I'm saying. So I was programmed for a whole type. You dig what I'm saying? A whole type that I don't even fucking like. Ain't that some shit? How many of us like to have a type that we don't even fucking like? You feel me? And we don't know that we don't like this type. Well, we know. We just don't care. Because, you know what I'm saying? We think, okay, just get it right. Just get it right. You know what I mean? And it's in just getting it right that we get it wrong. It's in just getting it right that we getting it wrong. But why? But why? What is the biggest problem in that? What is the biggest hang up? Because we ain't healing. We ain't healing. And then you have those that's like, that get caught up in the loop of feeling good about healing. I'm healing, guys. I'm healing. I'm still single. I'm still not going to keep going out because I'm healing. I'm doing my inner work. I'm doing my inner work. You just feel good about that shit. What point do you stop? What point did the ing becomes the ed? You feel me? I was that motherfucker at one point in time. It's like, yeah, I'm single. I'm getting my shit together and everything like that. Now, I'm still kind of in that space. You feel me? Because now I'm in a recovery space and I'm like, I realize, I don't even like the minute I want more. You feel me? I'm not in that pocket anymore. I'm not in that vein of trying to conform and be in that space. But a lot of us, like I said, we don't change our types. We don't change our motherfucking types. And then the fucked up part about it is we didn't even create our types. So now we grown as fuck. You dig what I'm saying? Like we grown as fuck. And then we got to start over. Imagine this, right? And look, this is a realization that I had to come to terms with for myself. Like, my type was established for me when I'll never forget this moment. I was like 11. No, I was 12. And it was 11. It was 11. And then it transitioned into 12, 13, 14. It was a fat booty, like kind of not like, I like thick women. You know what I'm saying? But like, I would say medium thick. You feel me? So that's always been what it was. And I was like, when did that shit get programmed? Because when I started to go through the type of women that I would be chasing, like, they all be built the same physically. And that's all that needed to be. Like, if she wasn't built, like, I'm not even, and it's like, I missed out. I ain't even gonna hold you. I missed out on so many different women that were actually my space. I remember this shit fucked me up. Cause like, I had a ex in high school. This was like, when I say this was, I guess, elementary, we went together, elementary school, middle school, and high school. You feel me? So this was that sweetheart type shit. You feel me? Some say that was my first love, for real, for real. I don't know. I can't say that I ever loved her, but I can't say that I didn't. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really know the space. I don't really know the vibes. But it's like, when we broke up for the last time in high school, I didn't even know this, but she asked me, she said she'll never forget these words to me that I said to her. And when I say that this person was like everything outside of the physical shit that I was looking at as a type, she was really my attraction. I fucked with her on a grander scale. So it was on some shit. Like, she told me, she was like, why did we break up? I said, shit, I don't even remember. And I really did not remember. Like, I just figured, like, I thought we was just done or some shit. She was like, nah, you told me I was boring. I said, yo, I didn't say that to you. She said, yes, you did. I said, I didn't tell you that you was boring. I said, I wouldn't say no shit like that. She said, those were your words. I said, I'm sure I didn't say the word boring. I probably say I'm just not growing it. And she said, no, you told me I was boring. Karma comes quick, because in the relationship in which I got, fucked over the worst, it was like I'm focusing on school, trying to graduate and shit. So, but at the same time, trying to cater to this person, but this person wasn't even focused on the shit that I was focused on. You feel what I'm saying? And because of that, she called me boring. She was like, I'm so bored. We don't have fun. We don't do shit. It's a fucking Tuesday. And I got an 8 o'clock, I got a 6 o'clock to a 9 o'clock class. The fuck we gonna do? Fuck out my face. Like, you feel me? But that showed me now, this person, she was a baddie. You feel me? The dimensions, everything, like it fit. It fucking fit. The attraction wasn't there. I had to take a step back and realize I was never attracted to this person. This was just my type. Your type's gonna hurt you. The type's gonna hurt you. Your attractions are going to transform you in a sense. You dig what I'm saying? Your type is just gonna hold you to a certain point. You bound. Cause now you can't cause now when your type extends beyond a certain thing, or they don't have the capacity to extend beyond certain thing, you start settling. All right. Look. The markets are not a difficult place to understand. All right. You just have to know what you're looking at. And there's 5 things that you need to see before you can make any market entry. First, you need a pocket, so you can know which direction the market is going in. Second, you need a pullback, so you can get the better price. Third, you need a battlefield, so you can see when that market movement is slowing down. Fourth, you need the upper hand, so you can see when the market reactivates. And last, you need a final push, so you can see the exact moment when it's time to go with the direction you are already moving in. Okay? Of course, there's so much more that has to go into that, and it's not as cut and dry as that. But those are things that I teach in my Mastering the Market course. So if you would like to learn more, please visit IamJustSing.com and check out the Mastering the Market course today. Although it is directed and specialized for Forex, all of the skills, I crafted them to be transferable to any market that you're looking at. So again, visit IamJustSing.com and check out the Mastering the Market course today if you are truly looking to master the market. You start settling. You dig what I'm saying? And now, when we're hurt by a type, we now continue to look for that type. And for real, before I went bald and shit, you feel me? I had waves, and each phase of my life, I had a different hairstyle, and I attracted a different type of woman. I know women say the same shit about on their side too. It's like, oh, different hair. Yeah. So when I had braids and shit, different type of woman. You feel me? Different type of woman or girl, because we was kids, and I had braids from the time I was 10 till I had to be 13. I think I cut it in 8th grade. Yeah, I cut it finally in 8th grade. But yeah, it was that type of attraction. Then it's after the braids came the waves. Whole different level of women. You feel what I'm saying? But they had a type of me. You feel me? They had a type. A lot of women type is so superficial. A lot of people's type is so superficial that it's simple. You feel what I'm saying? It's real simple. And it's too simple sometimes. It's motherfucker only got to be tall and have a beard. Yeah. Damn, bro. All she got to do is have a fat ass. Eesh. You feel me? Because that's a type. It's not an attraction. But like I said, the types are what hurt us. And when our types hurt us and we get hurt by the motherfucking type, what point do we fall into the healing? Because the healing doesn't start until we separate from the shit that hurt us. Dun, dun, dun. The healing will never start unless you separate from the shit that hurt you. You dig what I'm saying? I'm going to say that shit one more time. The healing doesn't start until you separate from the shit that hurt you. And because a lot of us stop hurting because the shit that that actually once hurt us doesn't hurt us anymore, doesn't hurt us as much, we keep fucking with it. You feel me? And like I said, this goes back to the conversation I was having with the woman who was saying, "Yo, you're not healed because you're trying to make me pay for the things that because I don't mix business and pleasure. That's my rule. That's my standard. I don't mix business and pleasure. Why? Because in mixing business and pleasure in the past, shit got fucked up. You live, you learn, you grow. You dig what I'm saying? So I would not cross that with this person. So I would be like, yo, I don't mix business and pleasure. So now, granted, there was a whole miscommunication in how our expressions were even being, how we were even being expressed to each other, because um, in the way in which we were able to even vibe and connect, I thought the whole shit was business. You feel me? It was business. Okay, I'm gonna say this. We were both under the understanding that the shit was business. However, she was comfortable with mixing business and pleasure. I'm not. But we never defined that. We never expressed that. So when I'm telling her about past relationships that, oh, if we get the project done, you feel me? If we're able to get the project done first and then we could see what's going on, it's like, nah. And she was like, well, you can't intertwine and infuse within my project if you're not about that. She said, I'm not doing that. And I respect it. I get it. She's right. You feel me? But neither one of us had expressed that shit to even know. Like, it's like, I don't mix business and pleasure. Like, I do mix business and pleasure. I said, well, we need to stop right now because it's clear. You know what I'm saying? So when I would be expressing the points of the past, it's like, yo, when I dealt with certain women, who were attempting to be business minded and then they never actually pulled through and did anything, I wasted my time. So now I can understand how her perspective was, well, mixing business and pleasure from that perspective is different. So she's seeing that she can do what I see that I can't. You feel what I'm saying? So when I'm speaking on this, because she merges business and pleasure, she's thinking I was speaking on the intimate relationship side of that part and being hurt from that. Nah, I wasn't hurt that, I was disappointed. My time got wasted. You feel me? And I was disappointed off of the business aspect of the fact that I merged business and pleasure. And I said, I'm not going to do that again. You feel what I'm saying? And these points were, in her perspective, I was still hurting. I said, no, I'm not hurt. Like they didn't cause me any pain. Like these women didn't hurt me. Like, I don't get why you keep saying I'm hurt. She was like, you hurt, you need to heal. I'm not hurt. Like that shit, I've already got through the disappointment. I have put myself in a position where a boundary is set and I'm not letting my boundary be crossed. So that conversation put it into perspective how a lot of people get into those spaces. They will try to convince you that you're not healed because you are not in the hurting pocket. If something doesn't hurt me anymore, doesn't mean just because something stops hurting doesn't mean I go back to see if I can weather the storm again. No, that means I'm not going into that storm anyway. Like I can identify the storm before it comes because I've healed. And I don't need to challenge myself and say, you know what? I'm strong enough to take this storm. And I think I'm going to take this motherfucking storm. Fuck no. That's stupid. That's stupid as fuck. Because what's that going to do to me? Get me hurt again. And then get me bitching and complaining about, you know what? All these motherfuckers is the same. All these motherfuckers is the same. These motherfuckers is wrong and shit. No. You gotta motherfucking get to that next point. So the point that I was making with that was how in that expression, she was adamant about this. Oh, you hurt. I don't know who hurt you. I am not hurt. You're misinterpreting all of that. You want me to be hurt. You want yourself to be right about this, but I'm not hurt. This is called a boundary. I'm not crossing again. I don't give a fuck who it is. Because when you live and you learn and you get through the shit, that disappointment led me to see, if they're not producing anything tangible, then I don't need to be, putting my time into them. It's a boundary that was set up. And I don't go against my own boundaries. That doesn't mean that I'm hurting or that I'm not healed because I'm not going to go against my boundary. You feel what I'm saying? And that's where we get messed up. That's where a lot of us really get messed up as people, because we get to that point where when we stop hurting, we think that just because we stopped hurting or whatever the case may be, that everything is healed. And it's not. The only thing that we're actually dealing with and the only thing that we're actually facing is the fact that we don't hurt anymore. So what's the next phase after you don't hurt? You got to heal. You dig what I'm saying? You got to heal. But the healing process starts when you separate yourself from the type. Or not just the type. because we're talking about relationships now, but like types hurt you. Your healing starts when you separate yourself from the shit that hurt you. Not try to hold on to it and endure the pain. That's stupid as fuck. So stupid. And I know it's so stupid. It makes sense that for it to be stupid, but when those moments happen, we are in a whole different pocket. We're in a whole different pocket, and we be like, you know what? I can do that shit again. I'm ready to get back in the game. And then we get back in the game and we go around the same shit that just hurt us again. Why? Because we're not trying to heal. We're just trying to stop hurting. You feel me? And I think this is why a lot of people go like if you ever had a heartbreak that was like super, super deep, that was because your ass don't get the picture about leaving certain shit alone. You had to be damaged to your core to realize this whole thing is bad for you. Walk away from it. You feel me? Because like I said, it's our types. And everything is about a type. Don't get it twisted. You feel me? Down to the point where you ask yourself what your attraction really is. What are you attracted to? And then you'll probably rattle off your type thinking it's an attraction, right? And I can get that. Here's how you know if an attraction is real or not. In that presence, you don't feel like you have to do anything. I don't mean in the sense of being lazy. I mean, you don't feel like you have to be on a certain behavior. That's when you're attracted to something. It feels normal. It feels like you're supposed to be there. See, when you have a type and you want that type, you have to be what that type requires. This is why a lot of motherfuckers is fucking up in relationships because they don't know how to be what they like. You're not even built for your type. So how can you be for it? I'm going to use my brothers on this one. Because you motherfuckers be like, ew, the bad chick, she didn't like the dude that watched anime. Because this be y'all. This how y'all be saying it. Oh, man, she don't like me because I watch anime. She doesn't like you because you're corny. You're not built for her. She's your type. But you're not built for that. You want it. It sounds good. That's why the motherfuckers get a little bit of money. You feel me? They hit the gym and they think those are all the things that work. Do you know why? I'm gonna keep it a hundo with you because I was on this side of this side of the fence when I was in high school, and which is the era in which people keep. Oh, when we was in school, they wasn't checking for the nerds. They was checking for me, bro. I was cool. I am cool. You feel me? I was nerdy like a motherfucker. Like I promise you, yo, I would have a pocket full of Pokemon cards. Like no bullshit. I would have a pocket full of Pokemon cards, still macking at the same time. I was cool, bruh. Like that's one of the disconnects with y'all. You feel me? And that's what happens. Like you're not built for your type. You dig what I'm saying? I was built for the baddies and stuff. I was built for all of that. That's why it worked because I was still built for them. A lot of y'all want that, you know. And I use my brothers on that perspective because that's the type we want. We be wanting, you know what I'm saying? I want the baddest chick in the club to come home with me and never go to the club again. And I'm not going to go to the club. The club just isn't my scene. Shut the fuck up then, goofy motherfucker. Like, what the fuck are you gaining out of that shit? What's your purpose in wanting to do that? I want the baddest bitch in the club. But she can't go to the club no more. And I don't go to the club to meet her. I got to catch her. I want to catch her in the Walgreens or some shit like that. How you gonna know she's always the baddest bitch in the club to shut the shit down? You feel what I'm saying? It be little shit like that gets people caught up. They're not built for their type. You feel me? And I be knowing because like, oh yeah, now she old now, and now she want me because it's all this, then third, and she always had a crush on me because I was this and the third. But she may have that crush now because now she's realizing that she was never attracted to a type. And now she's starting to learn what her attraction was. And now it's taking her back and you've already gone. Same shit. And you have to come to terms with the fact that, damn, I was never attracted to that shit, but that was my type. It was conditioning. Everybody wanted to, like, it's the popularity thing. What people don't understand is like the quote unquote popular people of the school, all they did was interchange the same people. It's just like fucking celebrities. What Jay said, y'all fuck the same fucking chicks. It was real shit. That's high school shit. Shit don't change. I remember when I first noticed it and it started happening, I was in the 8th grade, right? And I don't want it to come off on no pass around type shit. because this is not the case. But the upper echelonians, I'm gonna use that term, dealt with the same motherfuckers. So it would be like 1 week, or not 1 week, like one dude to go, like we'll all have like, because we was the ones. So we pretty much all going with the same people. The fuck? And it's like all like literally, it's like, yo, bro. Cause it's like, who's at the top? We are. You feel me? And then it's like, okay, so she went with him, she went with him, and she went with him. Yeah. Okay, he went with her, he went with her, and went with her. And it's like, wait, it's like, it's literally like, it would be like, I mean, 'cause I don't like using names, and you know what I'm saying? Because I want to keep things discreet and shit as much as possible. But I'm gonna say it would be like, it was like five, I'm gonna say it was like six dudes, myself included. And then there was like 6 women, 6 girls, right? At any given moment within our middle school career, we had all gone with each other. Like as far as, girls, and you know what I mean? So it'll be like, let me see. Out of the 7, let me see, out of the 6, let's say out of the 6 girls, I went with one. I went with 4 and talked to 5. But I went with 4. Only reason why I went with 4 and talked to 5 because 2 of them were cousins. I couldn't cross that line in 8th grade. I become a savage when I got older. But in that same bracket, those 5 guys, we were cool. You know what I'm saying? Me and one of my cousins went with the same girl. You feel what I'm saying? Like I went with her in 7th grade. He went with her in 8th grade. Like, you feel me? It was like that. So it's like, you feel me? When you have a type, you gonna fuck with every, that's what the type is. That's how that shit gets circled around. You feel me? But then when you have an attraction, it's different. Your attraction is different. And your attraction, I know I'm gonna tie this shit back in. Your attraction doesn't come until you heal. You dig what I'm saying? Your attraction is not gonna come until you heal. And you're not gonna be ready for your attraction until that point. And then when you see your attraction, it's gonna be like, damn, I wasn't even ready. I ain't even ready. Like I said, that take me back to the second point for the one that got away. I was in med school, and like, yo, from the jump, the day I laid my eyes on her, I knew she would be mine. I knew it. I said, damn, I am going to get her. But as I spent more and more time with her, I realized I was broken. That was the first time I realized that I had just stopped hurting, but I had not healed. Like, you feel what I'm saying? Because I was like, I want her so bad. I was on some Keith Sweat shit. Like, for real. I wanted her that bad. But I couldn't get her because I wasn't healed. I had just stopped hurting. And it was in that moment that I was like, I got to get my shit right. Because I can't let her slip away. I never got a chance to get her. You feel me? I'm not upset, like, you know what I'm saying, on that type time, because I don't think but it was like I genuinely fucked with her heavy. That's a what if that I feel will bother me for all my life, but really won't bother me for all my life. You know what I mean? Because it's one of those things, like, as a single man right now, I'm looking like, if, where could we be right now? You feel what I'm saying? But it wasn't supposed to be. But at the same time, the lesson in that was supposed to be, had I have been healed, I would have been able to get with her. I would have been able to be with her. I would have been able to be in a space, but I wasn't. I had just stopped hurting, and I didn't know the difference. You feel me? We ran into each other as we got older and shit. She got a family and shit right now. Cool. We were real. She's still a cool person. You feel what I'm saying? But I was hurting. I had just stopped hurting, and I did not even process a healing phase. So there was never a recovery. You feel me? There was never a recovery. And that's what we are supposed to get to. The recovery phase. You dig what I'm saying? We're supposed to get to a point where we recover. And it's not until the recovery phase that we're truly able to say that we can now take on another task, take on another project, or Go through the steps and I can't get it out. Go to the next level, basically. You dig what I'm saying? It's hard to go to the next level. And those things, are going to be hindrances for us. Those things are going to be hindrances for us until we learn to recover. You feel me? It's not until you get to the recovery phase that things change for you. You learn how to, you're no longer triggered by shit. You're no longer shit triggers you, but not the shit that you once were hurt by. You feel what I'm saying? You don't get that little sinking feeling your heart does when you see that person's face. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what the fuck I'm talking about. That little, your heart drop. That shit, you see the person's face, don't say yeah, you not hurt. You may not be hurting from what they did to you, but you ain't healed and you damn sure ain't recovered. And that was one of the perspectives that people that I kind of I used to always be asked, how can you talk to your exes and not still be, because the relationship done. And we've established that it was done. You feel me? But we recovered from whatever the fuck happened. You feel me? I can literally converse with any one of the women that I've ever been with in my life and not have that this bitch still this. Nah, it's yo, what the fuck is up, bro? How you been? What's going on and shit? You feel me? And a lot of people don't understand how that is the case, because the person I was when we hurt each other, when I hurt her, or when she hurt me, or whatever the case may be, the person that we were then, we're not now. If they're still that same person, then it's damn, bro. Damn. You feel me? But it's in the recovery phase that things go differently. Some people just start hurting. And that's why your heart sinks and that little your shit drop when you motherfucking see that person's face, or when you see, notifications from them, or whatever the case may be. You ain't recovered from them. You feel me? I never realized when I realized that I had recovered from my relationship, the one that I talk about that did me dirty, we was at homecoming. And my homegirl, she was like, yo, Ray, look, do you see that? Now, where we were positioning ourselves during homecoming, we were by the Q-Dog plot. So, and you know what I'm saying? Like I said, undergrad was cool for me. So I'm like, yo, I'm thinking she's talking about an ass. So I'm like, nah, what you looking at? I said, that ass right there. She was like, oh, nigga, no. She was like, look, she said, I can't point, but look, do you see it? I said, see what? So I'm scoping out ass, literally walking, it's ass everywhere. It's an HBCU, bro. We about a Q-Dog plot, bro. The fuck? So I'm still scoping, what the fuck are you talking about? She said, oh my gosh, Ray, wait, I'll tell you. So she was like, look. I was like, look at fucking what? She said, turn around. And so when I turned around, I looked, and it was my ex. And when I say, when I actually ran back her path, the path that she was walking, I looked right through her, didn't even see her. I could not even recognize her anymore. I was like, she was like, you really didn't see her? I said, no. She was like, bruh, she was walking direct. She was like, you were looking, she was in your line of sight. You was looking directly at you, and she was looking at you. I was like, she's saying you sitting here talking about some motherfucking ass. But when I actually looked back and registered, and I was like, yo, that's not the same person that I dated. It's just not physically, not energetically. I couldn't see her anymore. And it wasn't some fucked up shit. Oh, what about the memories? What about the things we had? Oh, wasn't that. None of that shit came to reality. It was just damn, homie. In undergrad, I was your man, homie. The fuck happened to you? It was just not the same anymore. I couldn't see her. And that's when I realized that I recovered. But that's when I started to realize what recovery was. I'm just now putting a name to the shit now and shit. But that's when I realized what the recovery was. You can't even see that person. You feel me? It's you're not even calibrated to see him. Now, had I been in the wrong state, I would have automatically knew that my homegirl was talking about her. Yo, you see her, it's oh shit, she here. And I was like, what the fuck is you talking about, man? I'm trying to see this ass. It was a lot of ass around there. Now, mind you, Disclaimer. This was when I was like, I think this was homecoming 2015, 2014, 2015. So I was still 24, 25. Nowhere near where I'm at right now. But the point of that was saying that when we recover, when we face that recovery, we see differently. You feel me? We see differently. Like I said, that woman, she was my type. She was never my attraction. I didn't even know that. I was never attracted to her. You want to know if you really not attracted to somebody or not? You feel me? You know that you're not attracted to somebody simply because every little thing they do pisses you off. You like them. And I'm gonna use this example because I think this example works the best. Women be like, motherfucker, you ever seen one of those posts where women be like, your man just laying there peaceful and you just want to punch him in his face? Yeah. That's what the shit is like. That's a real representation of the shit. When you are with a type that you're not attracted to. What can compel you to just look at a motherfucker and want to punch him in the face? Like, really? Either you crazy as fuck, Coral asses. I'm crazy, but I'm loyal. I'm loyal, but I'm crazy, whatever. But those are the type of women that look, I just want to punch him in his face sometime. You're not attracted to that shit. But it's your type. Like, to really think about that shit. To really think about something that you're attracted to as an opposition that you would fuck up. Bruh. You feel me? That's your type. And your types hurt you. You feel me? Not your attractions. What you're attracted to does something totally different to you. But you're not gonna reach your attraction until you healed. You feel me? And you're not gonna heal until you stop being in denial that you're not hurting. Like, you're not in denial, but you're stuck in the phase that, oh, I just don't hurt. You feel me? This is why like I never take anybody seriously who's just gotten out of a relationship trying to get into another one. I just don't. I can't. Because it's like, I know what you're trying to do. And I'm not about to do it. It's the 80-20. I'm giving you the 20% you didn't get, or whatever the case may be. Or I am what you would want that person to have been. Okay? But have you acknowledged what you're attracted to? And have you spent time practicing being attracted to it? Nah, you've been focusing on being all that you can be so your type can see you. You feel me? Being all that you can be so your type can see you. And your type sees you and fucks you up and causes you to be hurt. Your attraction don't, because your attraction makes you feel differently. They don't just appeal to you. Your attraction is different. Like I said, you can't register your attraction until after. Most people don't register their attraction until after they heal from the hurt, because it's in the recovery phase. Your attraction is exposed to you in the recovery phase. When you truly see and that's a lot of times where the spark happens. When you truly see what your attraction is, you know why you have to recover. That's when you actually say, okay, bruh, I need to heal for real. Not only that, I need to recover. I need to be now. Let me take that shit up to the next level. I think we get comfortable being healed and not going back in. You feel me? When D Rose tore his ACL, he fucked up his knees and shit. It was like, he got hurt bad. You feel me? But then he healed. He went through the therapy and shit and all of that shit. But you knew he recovered when he dropped that 50-point game with the Timberwolves. That's when you knew he recovered for real, because that's D Rose. Like, that's the motherfucker who was MVP, the youngest MVP to play the game. Like, that was the explosive motherfucker. Like, that's when he recovered. But at the same time, he's still different because he's healed. He's no longer, it's not that, okay, this shit don't hurt no more, but nah, it's deeper than it just not hurting. He's healed and he's recovered. So much so he dropped a 50-point game and it was like, yo, it's vintage D Rose. He's back. Like, that's what that is like. That's what it's like to recover, from the pains, from the traumas, from the bullshit. That's what it's really like to recover. And that's what the process is that we have to go through. You have to, after you're hurt, you have to heal. After healing, you have to recover. It's not just a matter of, and that's why I was mentioning how people say, well, healing is an ongoing process. It's not, bruh. At some point, whatever hurt you it should be healed. It should stop. But then this healing, the healed part comes with something different. If you get to a point where you can't assert your boundaries, you feel me? You can't maintain your boundaries, your standards and shit like that. Or it's difficult for you to do that. You are in the healing process. You're still healing, and that's fine. That's fine. But the issue is that you're trying to float between not hurting and actually healing. See, the healing process is going to get like when those boundaries start getting set, you're going to have to start setting those boundaries with close people, loved ones. No, I'm not doing that. And then you're going to have to worry about how you feel on the inside about they're going to look at me this way. They're going to feel like this and they're going to wait till I blow up, blah, blah, blah. You get to when you healed, you're like, yo, this is a boundary. I don't give a fuck no more. Respect what I said. You feel me? Respect where I stand with that. And that's a part of the reality that we're dealing with and a part of the reality that we're in. You know, that next phase is the recovery. When you honor your boundaries and you continue to honor your boundaries, and now you set the standard, and people either gonna fuck with it or not. But that's where your recovery is at. Because now what's gonna happen is, like I said, your retraction is gonna be revealed, not just relationship wise, your soul tribe, the actual motherfuckers that you really supposed to be fucking with in life. You feel me? That shit flows so effortlessly. You feel me? It flows so effortlessly. You start meeting people. It's like it's no friction. We don't be arguing. It ain't no fucked up shit. Like it's, you feel me? You have disagreements naturally as humans, but you start to, that recovery phase is different. That's the phase we got to get to. You know, you hurt, you get hurt. The trauma hits, you get hurt. You got to heal. After you heal, you got to recover. You got to recover. You got to go through the process of recovery. And recovery, the way in which you move into recovery is, like I said, after you heal, your attractions become revealed. The things your soul yearns for, it's attracted to. I'm not talking about just a basic. I use relationships as an example because that's what we listen to the most. Motherfuckers learn the best when you're talking about a relationship. But once you've healed or whatever the case may be in your attraction, like the things that you're attracted to come to you. That's why it's an attraction. You feel me? And you realize, oh, I don't like this type. I'm tired of this. Like, that's why I say the universe doesn't like it. It responds to what you speak about the most. Like when women talk about fuck boys and shit like that, that's your type. You're just not attracted anymore. You're not attracted to a fuck boy. Logically, I would hope not, but he's your type. This is why you can't get it right. You can't figure out why all y'all motherfuckers the same. We're not. You have a type. That's your fault. Your type is what you do not like. Your type is what hurts you. Your type is what brings you pain. And this is why we look for another type to not do what this person did, not do what the first type did. It's your type. It's gonna happen again. Your type is no good for you. Heal that shit and learn what the fucking attraction is. And when you learn what your attraction is, you're like, oh, my attraction fucks with me because I fucks with these particular things. My energy is in this particular vein. I move and operate from this particular perspective. That's why I'm attracted to you. Not because you're cute, because you're tall, you got waves, or you feel me? She got some thick ass eyelashes and shit, or contoured nose and shit. She's you realize that you need substance, and that's what your attraction is to. The substance of a motherfucker, not the physical. You feel me? That's what you need to get through when you heal and get into the recovery phase. And then like you get into the recovery phase, I'm telling you, it's going to be different. When you get into the recovery phase and you're involving yourself with people who just don't hurt anymore, or people who are still in the healing process, it's going to be so different. It's going to be hard trying to like connect. You can't connect with people who have not recovered. Y'all are in two different spaces. They're going through a process. You have to help them. You might be helping them get to the recovery if they're not arrogant enough to overlook it. Some people don't even realize the degrees of separation between people. And they think that the way that they think is the way this person thinks too, or the way that this person understands, or that you're on the same level and the same plane to be understanding and thinking in the same way. Fuck no. That's not the same shit. Case in point, as I was talking about the conversation I was having with a sister who was under the impression that no, I'm not hurt. I'm beyond healed. This is a boundary. Like, you feel what I'm saying? Our perspectives were different. Our perspectives were totally different. We was coming from two different perspectives of where we stand. Me refusing, like that's my recovery shit. But when you just stop hurting, you're willing to extend your boundaries to go fuck with a motherfucker. Just don't hurt me. Fuck that. I reached the point in my life where I don't ask motherfuckers or beg motherfuckers not to hurt me. No. Do what you do. It won't hurt me. Like, that's a whole different affirmation that I have for myself. You won't hurt me, bro. Sis, all y'all. You feel me? Because I know my brothers, we got to put ourselves in a position like, we have betrayals. We had different things like that. Like, no, that shit's not happening anymore. You won't do this to me. I don't think people understand how much power they really have. But that comes from, like I said, that comes from a level of recovery. I don't look at no motherfucker and ask them, I hope you don't do me dirty. I hope you don't wrong me. I hope you be you. That's all I ask. I hope you be you, because you won't fuck me up. You won't fuck me over. You won't do that other shit. You feel me? That comes with what has been obtained from the healing and the recovery. I'm going to tell you what you won't do. That was something I used to always hear growing up. You feel me? I used to have what you not going to do. That's a powerful sentiment. I don't even think we really looked at it like that. What you not going to do. I'm telling you, this is what you not going to do. Why? Because I got a boundary. I got a standard. I got these things set. This is what you're not going to do. I'm not telling you what I hope you don't do. I'm not going to tell you the things that I hope you don't do, that I wish you don't do, that things are going to be problems for me if you do them. No, here's what I'm telling you, you won't do. Do it if you want to, but here's what you won't do. I don't give no fucks about that shit. You feel me? But that comes from being healed. Yes, you can be healed. You know what I'm saying? Out of the healing process. Oh, I'm still going through. I see so many people keep talking about, oh, I'm healed. Like I said, people would tell me like, yo, you need to heal, and then give me ultimatums and shit, and it can't realize why I say and do certain shit that I do. It's like they'll say they healed and then tell me about the shit that, okay, I still deal with this. Okay, cool. You're still in the healing process. Just embrace that. You don't have to be healed right now. I am. So I'm ready for certain things and I move a certain way, but here's what you won't do. I don't, that shit comes with different levels of life. You feel me? My brothers, I want y'all to get to a point of recovery, because then you can deal with rejection better. Y'all be hurt. And y'all do not respond to rejection well. Women, sometimes y'all can get crazy too, but my brothers, y'all don't respond to rejection well because you don't know how to recover from the shit. You feel me? You don't have to recover from the shit. You leave me on scene? Cool. I don't have to, oh, so she just gonna leave me on scene? Like, no, I get hints. I take pictures. All right. You ain't gonna fuck up my piece. You know what I mean? These things are levels that come with the healing from the trauma and the pain. After you hurt, you got to stop hurting to start healing. But you just can't stop hurting and think that's okay. Because any wound that stops hurting but isn't healed will get infected. Then what? You get sick. Shit gets fucked up. So you got to get through the healing process. And then once you heal, yes, you can be healed. The problems, the shit that hurt you, you can be healed from the shit. Your response to heal, like I said, your attraction change. Your recovery is different. Like I said, this is just from personal perspective. When you get to that recovery level, you reach a point where you don't beg motherfuckers to not hurt you. You just, do what you're going to do. But I'm telling you what you won't do. You fuck up if you want to, and you think, okay, this is what it's going to be. And I made a mistake. Yes, you did make a mistake. Now live with it. There's no, let's try to know. I told you what you won't get away with. I told you what you won't do. I told you this shit. Now go sit with that. You feel what I'm saying? That's recovery, because now it's like, this is the boundary. This is the line. This is the standard. You made a conscious choice to cross it. You chose to test the waters, and now you see that you failed the test. You feel me? Because when you're begging in that position, it's like, oh, please don't hurt me. Just don't hurt me. I'm not begging you and hoping and wishing and willing you not to do nothing. I'm telling you what you won't do. That's recovery. The boundary is set. The standard is set. You feel me? You got to get to that point within yourself. And if you're not there yet, it's cool. You're in a healing phase. But don't just start numbing yourself. You feel me? Oh, I'm good. No, you're not. Go heal. Go through that dark phase of shit. Go through that process in which you got to heal so that way you can move into the recovery. Because once you move into the recovery, I'm telling you, you move into the recovery, you become a bad motherfucker. And don't forget to take a moment to go get your exclusive merchandise from Just Scenes merch. At Just Scenes, each piece is specifically crafted with positive imagery and symbolism. From the titles and designs to the descriptions, each style gives you something to feel great about. With everything from hoodies and tees to coffee mugs and tote bags, we have something for the entire family. So be sure to get yours today. Find us on Instagram at Just Scenes merch and get your merchandise right now. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up there. This was a good one. I needed to get this one out. Yeah, we live in a space where we get hurt. You feel me? We just stop hurting and we don't heal. And because we stop hurting and we force ourselves to stop hurting and we don't really heal, what we do is we put ourselves in a position where we create this illusion that we have healed. You know what I mean? And it's in the illusion of healing that we think the realities are what they are. So we think that because we stopped hurting, we think because we stopped hurting that we've healed, as I said. I drew a blank, my bad, y'all. But it's in the healing phase that gets hard because that's where the transformation comes in. See, when you just hurting, you don't even think to go in a cocoon. You don't even think to go into solitude, into the emotions of the life that you really need to be around and be in. You don't think to do those things. You dig what I'm saying? You just don't. So you now want to live a life that is eggshell based. You feel me? Oh, just don't hurt me. Please just don't hurt me. Please don't hurt me. I've been hurt before, so this, that, and the third. I don't plead that shit no more. I'm just telling you, look, this was not gonna happen. You can try me if you want, like you grown, but I'm telling you, it's not gonna go the way you think it's gonna go. You dig what I'm saying? One of the quintessential pieces in which this really resonated with me and made me aware that I had recovered was when I would talk to women and they would say, well, yeah, my exes always come back because blah, blah, blah. They know they got a good thing and this, that, and the third. And I'm like, okay, cool. And then just after we end. And they're like, we ain't talked in so long. Like, what's been up? And the fuck we gonna talk for? We're done. Like, how you been? What's been up? I've been good. It's like you. And it's like, I can have a conversation. It's like, how do you, and a lot of people are like, yo, that's fake. You troll. No, I really genuinely don't have any ill will towards these people. I've recovered from the bullshit. So it's like, okay, cool. That's not, I can be in that space. And it's like, what happens? Recovery is a powerful motherfucker because now it's like, I walk the world like, yo, I wish you would. Like it changes perspective. Like you go from like no funny shit. Like, and I've seen multiple people on this level too. And this is how I seen this. Like I had homies who would be like, yo, that shit ain't happening again. That motherfucker ain't gonna do that shit to me. Like, and then that they wouldn't let a motherfucker do that shit to him. And I was like, oh, that's what it is. Now I'm looking at it. It's a recovery thing. Like once you get to the point, you're like, that shit ain't gonna happen. Matter of fact, I dare you to. You feel me? Your bravado changed, bro. It's different. Like you go from yo, just I've been hurt. Like I ain't gonna hold you. Like I was like in my non-hurting phase when I wasn't hurting anymore. When trying to get numbers and dealing with women, it's like, yeah, I've been hurt in my past. You feel me? And like it hurt me bad. Like she did this to me, and just I don't want to be hurt again. Now it's as crazy as it is. It's funny now. It's like I wish a motherfucker would hurt me again. Like I would. Like you gotta the audacity you gotta have to even think or considering hurting me at this phase of my life. That's stupid on your part. You feel me? And I don't mean it on no threatening type shit like I'll choke her or some shit like that. No, I wouldn't have like my absence would do far more damage than anything that I could do. And my absence is well. Like when I want to leave, I leave. You feel what I'm saying? Like I said, Ghost man, I wish you would. You feel me? I reached that point. And I can have conversations about my exes. You feel me? I can have conversations about the women of my past and it just be that. And I'm not on some, oh yeah, I got hurt here. And in my hurt, she did me dirty. So please don't do me. I'm not begging you not to do me like shit. I'm begging you to be your absolute self. Don't hide shit. Don't hide shit. Be who the fuck you really supposed to be. Cause that's another reason why a lot of motherfuckers get hurt. Because they begging the motherfucker, don't hurt me. And if a motherfucker can't hurt you, no, if you begging for a motherfucker not to hurt you, not to do certain things to you, that means you're not giving them the full capacity to be exactly who they need to be in your life. It's an illusion that you're playing. You feel me? Now, granted, are they supposed to hurt you? No, I'm not saying that's the case. But what I'm saying is if they have to walk on eggshells, if they have to do certain things, they cannot be their full total self. Why would you be in a relationship like that anyway? How could you be in a relationship like that anyway? You got them in a cage because you haven't recovered. It's like, yo, here's free reign, motherfucker. Go do what you do. You feel me? When I was in undergrad, one of my homegirls, well, is she my homegirl or she my homeboy girl? Like, cause we've been cool, we've been down for so long, I don't know who I met first. Did I meet her and then meet him? Did I meet him and meet her? Did I meet him at the same time? We was at a party. Whatever the case may be, I don't even know why the fuck I even let that be a tangent. She told me something powerful. She said, I trust you to do what you gonna do. I could not fathom what the fuck she was talking about at the time. She was like, I don't put shit past you. She said, I trust you to do what you gonna do. I was like, the fuck does that even mean? She said, I trust you to do what you're gonna do. She said, I don't trust nobody to do anything. And she's like, and she's talking to me about her boyfriend, who was my homeboy too. And it's like, he was right there. And he was like, yeah. She was like him. She said, I trust him to do what he gonna do. That's it. I don't trust him to do nothing else but what he gonna do. I could not get what she was talking about. I said, you don't trust him to be. She said, I trust him to do what he's gonna do. And I hope he trusts me the same. I said, just to do what you're going to do? Yeah, she said, because I would rather him do what he wants to do than try to hide it. Whatever it wasn't clicking to me at that time. I get the shit now. You feel me? But again, that came with a level of recovery. You know what? I'm going to let you do you. There's consequences, definitely. It ain't going to be me crying. You feel me? It ain't going to be me, oh, what did you do me like this for? No. Try me. That's really what it is. You feel me? But it's like I reached the point. I get it now. I trust you to do what you're gonna do. What your soul compels you to do. What's written in your subconscious mind. What's written in your unconscious mind. That's the shit that I trust you to do. Don't be on your best behavior for me. Don't try to, just don't hurt me. Don't listen to me tell you not to hurt me. Do what you feel you need to do for your life in the connection with what you have with me. You feel me? Be that 100%. Just be comfortable and confident enough to deal with the consequences. You feel me? And that's what you have to, that's the level you get to. I feel. You feel me? I look at a lot of the people that I see that have recovered, they don't tolerate shit. You feel me? I'm watching now how a lot of people be like, well, cougars, they done got fed up. They just done, nah. Them cougars recovered. That right there might be why I fuck with cougars. But they be like, I look at the older women who have been like they've recovered. They recovered. And it's like, okay, this is what it is, and this is what it's gonna be, and this is what it ain't. Like, man, she didn't even let me mess up one time. She, okay. And it's like, yeah, she's so shit. I be seeing that shit. Same shit with dudes. You feel me? You had that dude who was supposed to be, ooh, girl, I got him wrapped around my finger. He gonna do all of this. And it's like, yo, he cut me off. He don't even fuck with me no more. Yeah. That motherfucker recovered. You ain't playing with him no more. That cougar recovered. You ain't playing with her no more. Motherfuckers is different. You feel me? But see, people prey on the fact that people are hurt and they dealing with relationships when they just not hurting. You feel me? So it's like, my smile isn't a facade these days. It's because I really feel good. When I was just trying to mask the hurt, I didn't like it. It was just, now it's like, yo, I'm recovered. Yo, I wish you would. You feel me? You can't waste my time. But again, we got to get through those processes. We're all hurt. At some point, we all get hurt. At some point, some of us heal, but not many of us recover. Why? Because there's some kind of disconnect. Because that recovery requires a lot of change. Because now you become attracted to what you do. But now you have to start to go more internally. It's like my attraction now. These things appeal to my soul. I can feel them. They resonate differently. You dig what I'm saying? And that's what it's about. That's what it's about. It's about going through that phase. Once you get your trauma, you get hurt. From your hurt, you heal. From your healing, you recover. It shouldn't be an ongoing process. I'm sorry. I can't co-sign that shit. I can't co-sign that shit. Oh, Leaf is a spiritual. You gonna no? Because to imply that I'm still healing means that I'm still hurting from the same bullshit. Like, why the fuck am I constantly being put in a situation where I got to keep healing from the same shit? That shit don't make no sense to me. Once I've seen the shit and I'm able to identify, okay, man, let me do the healing process. But once I'm healed from it, I could be healed from it and be good. I look at the situation I had with my pops. Like, I had stopped hurting the first time I talked to him when I was 18. I never healed because I still snapped on his ass. When I talked to him again at 26, I had recovered. So much so, like, the conversation was just like, I wasn't trying to hide or like trying to make myself feel a certain way. It was just like, bro, I really don't feel shit right now. It sounds like I'm just talking to a regular person on the street like right now. It's like, it's not an anger thing. I'm not like, oh, how you get my number? What you doing? It's like, this is interesting. This is very interesting. It was a different calibration. I had recovered from what he did to me. Again, I was 26 years old. Took long enough, but it put into perspective that I need to start taking life more seriously as far as what hurts me and what I need to heal from and what I need to recover from. Because like I said, in that conversation with my pops at that time, I remember, I'm going to give two different examples. So when I was 18 and I talked to him, literally almost the same conversation. He was like, yo, you can call me sometime. You got my number. And I said, nah, you can call me, bro. It ain't going to be like that. I was like, I'm the child. You got to call me or some shit like that. It was just like, there was that anger there. There was that anger from that perspective. He's like, yo, why you got to be like that? I was like, yo, you made it like that, But then when I was 26, he was like, yo, keep in touch with me. I said, yeah, all right, man, my response was the same, but it was different energy. I was like, it's not going to be a need for that. He was like, no, I'm just saying, man, I said, there's no need, bro. I already made it 26 years. There's no conversation that we really need to have. Like, there's nothing we could talk about. He was like, yo, man, we ain't got to be like that. I said, no, this is the reality. We have it came off so blunt and harsh that I can tell, but in my perspective, I'm like, there's nothing for us to talk about. We don't have anything in common. We don't and that was a point of the recovery. It's like, yo, you're not going to come into this because there's no reason for you to be here. You feel me? There's no reason for you to be here. So when you can say that and get to that point, like that's I didn't have to cuss him. I didn't cuss him out. I didn't spaz on him. And I just told him like, it's like, dad, yo, all right, I can see that. No, you ain't got no choice but to see it, bro. Because it goes back to what I was talking about with recovery. This is what you won't do. And this is why I mean that. It's not like on like a threat type shit. It's just, yo, you don't have the capacity to do that shit to me anymore. So this is what I'm saying. Like, you won't do this to me because you don't have the power, the strength, or the capacity to inflict that on me anymore because I've recovered. Set up the boundaries through the healing and everything like that and got through the hurting part or whatever. Like, you don't have that capacity to do that. As the phrase goes, your arms are too short to box with God. Like, that's what the recovery does. It takes you to a whole nother level of life, you know? So I just wanted to talk about that a little bit because these 3 points are very important. Everybody, we talk about, oh, I was hurt, get through the healing and shit. And what's next? Recovery. Recovery. You're not getting to a point where you begging a motherfucker not to hurt you, or you begging a certain stance not to hurt. You're like, yo, this shit's not gonna hurt. You feel me? And this is off of anything. This is not like, it's like, oh, I just want this. Like, fucking case in point. I use astrology as an example. Retrogrades. Motherfucker, like, oh, I hope the retrograde, because retrogrades hurt your ass. You didn't heal from the hurt. You didn't, recover. You know what I'm saying? You recover. You're like, oh, okay, now I just deal with the retrograde. You feel me? That's what the recovery is like. Being able to be in a position where it's like, yo, you won't hurt me again. You won't inflict the trauma. It's just not gonna happen. You feel me? I don't know, macho gangster shit. It's just, it won't happen. Boundaries, standards, all of these things in the healing process, all of that shit gets you to a point where it's like, this shit's not happening again. If the shit can continually happen, you have to accept that you have not healed. You have just stopped hurting. If you are in a position where you're continually pleading to people, don't hurt me. Just don't do me wrong. Just like, you don't plead. I just made a design. Well, I didn't just make a design, but I got a design in my merch line called Black Matter Lives. I wore it. Somebody said, don't you mean Black Lives Matter? I said, no. That's why the side of it says affirm, never plead. I'm not begging you to see if Black Lives Matter. No, I'm not begging you to see me as a human being. Bitch, I'm telling you. Do with that information what you will. Black Matter lives, bruh. Do whatever you want with that information, but I'm telling you, I'm not begging you for shit. I'm not begging you. I'm not asking you not to hurt me. I'm not begging you to see the human in me. I'm telling you what I am. Same shit. Same shit. When you reach that recovery phase, I'm not begging you not to hurt me. I'm not asking you to see the good in me. I'm not asking you to see the better in me and to see the bright side of me and don't treat me wrong. No, I'm telling you to do that. You make the choice not to, that's on you. You got to deal with those consequences. But I'm telling you what's not happening. You dig what I'm saying? And that's what the recovery is about. So take some time to get to that point, man. If something hurt you, stop being numb. Actually go heal through the shit. Get to that point where you set your boundaries up. And don't let a motherfucker who's used to dealing with hurt people, convince you that your boundaries are you not being healed. That's how your boundaries are set up. Because if you ain't healed, then you're going to continue to be begging motherfuckers. You feel me? No. In your healing, when the healing finishes, you have boundaries set up. I'm not getting hurt again. Like, I was talking to somebody that was like, yo, never say never. But I could damn sure say never again. Fuck you. You can kiss my ass. I may not be able to say never for the first time, but I could damn sure say never again. And I do. And that's what comes after the healing, when you've healed. And then the recovery is like, yo, try me. And again, it's not on no threatful shit. It's just the reality. It's like, this is what you won't do in my space. I don't get why that is so, like, people be like, I got homegirls now that tell me that, yo, my standards might be too high. I'm like, so wait, women can be on this in this type time of what a man ain't gonna do when he enter their space. But I can't be like that. I can't say, no, fuck no, you not. This is what you won't do when you come into my space. Well, she's gonna be hurt. Okay, I've been hurt. I've gone through shit and I've got to my recovery phase. You feel what I'm saying? You can't play with me. Just like I'm not about to play with you. Cause now in my recovery, I have a different respect for your pain. You feel me? A lot of motherfuckers, when they stop hurting, they don't give a fuck about your pain. That's why they can inflict the very shit they will cry to you about. They can be in boohoo tears. I got hurt with this, so I know what this feels like, and go do the exact same shit to you. Bullshit. You feel me? That's why I fuck with recovered motherfucker. That's why I operate as a recovered motherfucker, because it comes a point where it's just like, I'm not begging you for shit. I'm not asking you. I'm not hoping. I'm not wishing. I'm not praying that you treat me right. I'm not praying that you don't do me dirty. I'm not asking and begging and trying to set. No, I hope and pray that you get to be your absolute full self. But what I'm telling you is, what you won't do is hurt me. It just won't happen. But I'm gonna go ahead and end it on that. Um, Hurt, healed, and recovered. Start paying attention to that. Like, really just tap in with that, man. And yeah, I don't know. It's really not much else. I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, so go kiss your babies. Make sure they eat their vegetables. And start teaching the kids early how to process hurting, how to actually move from hurting to healing, as opposed to moving from hurting into not healing. Especially us as men, our boys, we gotta do that shit for our boys. From a kid, they keep, yo, I'm not hurt. You are hurt. You're crying, bruh. Like, you're crying. I can see it in your face. Let it out. Let it out. You feel me? Let the hurt out, so that way you can start healing from it. Don't deny, oh, it don't hurt. It don't hurt. Because that's the reason why you can't heal. Because your mind is programmed to deny the pain. And we start that shit as kids. You feel me? Motherfucker, your eyes are welling up, bro. You about to cry. It don't hurt. Yes, it do. Don't lie. But it creates a numbness in you. Creates a numbness in you. A numbness that cannot allow you to heal. You feel me? I was a cold motherfucker for a long time, because I didn't realize how much I had embedded as a child by trying not to cry, being told that boys don't cry, boys don't feel, boys don't do all of these things. I had numbed myself, and there was never a point of healing, because I was always in the mind, I'm not hurt. I was hurt like a motherfucker for a lot of shit. You feel me? Don't let don't let that happen to your babies. Start letting them feel, let them get that hurt out. You feel me? Let them get that hurt out so they can actually go through the healing process. Can't heal what you never reveal. You dig? Then you get to the healing process, you get healed. Then you can go to the recovery. And that's how you move to the next point. You feel me? That's how you move to the next point. But yeah. So with that being said, go kiss your babies. Make sure they eat their vegetables. And I'm gonna see y'all all on the next one. Peace, love, knowledge, and freedom. I'm out.